Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Shanika and today's yin yoga sequence is going to be in honor of the winter solstice. So we are at our peak yin energy this time of year. It's very dark. It's the stillest time of the year, very introspective, introverted, reflective type of energy. So in order to honor the winter solstice, we also need to honor the pause and the shift in energy. And just like the seasons change, so do we. We are in a constant state of transformation. So in traditional Chinese medicine, winter is associated with the kidney and bladder meridian lines. If you are feeling optimal, things are going well for you and these meridian lines, energy is flowing, you feel very nourished. But if there is an obstruction, or I'd like to say a kink in these meridians, then you might be feeling a little bit depleted, stiff, achy, sore, tight muscles, joints, having issues in those types of areas. The best way that I can explain it is, like I mentioned, with a kink. So if you can think of your meridian lines as like a water hose, if there is an obstruction in your meridian lines, in your water hose, then energy and all that goodness is not flowing. So what we try to do with yin yoga is try to lessen the obstruction in the hose or in the meridian lines so that all that goodness can flow throughout the body and circulate in its most optimal way. So for this practice, we are going to be targeting the kidney and bladder meridian lines, and you will also need one block. I also decided to wear a sweater for this practice. It is winter, it's cold, so I thought why not just incorporate it. So if you have a sweater, you can go ahead and put your sweater on, and I'm drinking my milky tea. I put a lot of powders in oat milk. I just like the taste of oat milk. I feel like it tastes the most like milk to me. So in here I have ginger powder, cacao powder, turmeric powder, and of course if you are having turmeric, it's always beneficial to put black pepper. So there's black pepper, cayenne in there, and then I added a pinch of ashwagandha just because, you know, of all those wonderful health benefits. And of course I added some honey just to make it a little sweet and give it a nice aroma. So you can grab your hot chocolate, your tea, your coffee, cocoa water, whatever it is that you want, put on a sweater, and we will get started. So we'll go ahead and get started with our first posture, which will be a simple child's pose. So coming onto all fours, knees wide, big toes to touch, send your hips back into the saddle that you've created, walk your arms out forward, sink the head to the floor. Nice deep breaths here. Nice deep breaths into the back body. Last few breaths here. If you'd like to go deeper for these last few breaths, maybe inchworm your fingers closer to the top of the mat. Extend through the back body. Take our last 2 breaths. Nice big inhale. Open the mouth, inside out. One more inhale. And gently exhale. Lifting the gaze. Walk your hands back in. And just taking a moment here before we come to our next posture. And let's go ahead, we'll make our way into a caterpillar. So extending your legs straight out in front of you, we'll be making our way into a caterpillar. So instead of having your feet close together, you can very well do that, or you can just separate them slightly. It just allows the stretch to go a little bit deeper into the belly of the hamstring. So inhale to find length. And exhale, walk your hands forward and just allowing the head to hang heavy. If you have a block, you can place it in between your legs and let the forehead rest. So there's no pulling or reaching, just allowing gravity to do the work. Nice deep breaths. If you'd like to go deeper for these last few breaths, simply walk your hands closer, maybe towards your feet. Find a little bit more length in the spine. Let's take our last 2 breaths. Nice big inhale, swell up. Open the mouth, inside out. One more inhale. And exhale. Lifting the gaze, push into your palms and just walk yourself all the way back upright. You can bring your hands behind you and just let it air out here for a moment. So let's go ahead and we'll make our way into our next posture, which will be a wide-legged forward fold. So go ahead and grab a block for this one. In case you decide to use it, have it handy. We'll do it facing this way. So you want to bring your left leg out to the side of the mat and the right leg out to the side of the mat. You can bring your block in the middle. You're just going to take your left hand in front of you, your right hand behind you, and inchworm yourself just a little bit closer and a little bit wider. So inhale here for length, remembering there's no flexing of the feet or engagement in the legs. Everything is just nice and soft. Go ahead, find length, and exhale, fold forward any amount. You can bring your forehead to the block at its highest height, second highest height, or lowest height. Thinking about those areas of tension and really trying to invite space with every inhale. So if you like to go deeper for these last few breaths, maybe you remove your block. Maybe you change the height of your block. Last few breaths here. Last 2 breaths. Nice big inhale. Open the mouth, inside out. One more inhale. And gently exhale. Let's go ahead and lift the gaze. Push into the palms. Walk yourself all the way back upright. Maybe you bring your hands behind your knees. Gently bend them. Bring them closed. You can place the soles of the feet onto the floor and just allow the head to drop in and rock from side to side. And let's go ahead. We'll make our way now into a reclined twist. So just have your block handy in case you decide that you do want to use it. So you're going to come to lay all the way down onto your back. From here, we'll be making our way into eagle twist. So taking your right knee and crossing it over the left. Go ahead and extend your left arm out beside you. Draw your knees in towards your chest and drop both knees over towards the left. Gaze towards the right. So you can cactus your right arm or you can extend it beside you, and you can also take your left hand and gently place it on top of the right knee. And if it's too uncomfortable to gaze over your right shoulder, you can always gaze towards the ceiling. On every inhale, thinking about drawing that breath right up underneath the rib cage, right up underneath that armpit. Last few breaths here. Last 2 breaths. Nice big inhale. Open the mouth and side out. One more inhale. And exhale. Bringing your gaze back towards the ceiling if it's not there already. Unravel and uncross the knee. Go ahead and just find a moment here just to rebalance, readjust. And we'll prep ourselves to do the same thing on the other side. Plant your feet firmly on the mat. You're going to take the left knee this time and cross it over the right knee. You're going to cactus your left arm this time and extend your right arm straight up to the side. Draw your knees in towards your chest and drop both knees to the right. Gaze to the left. I feel so much more sensation on this side than I did on the other. Feels really, really good. Again, gazing over the shoulder or towards the ceiling. Last few breaths here. Nice, deep, expansive breath. Thinking about bringing the breath right up underneath the rib cage, right into the armpit. Last 2 breaths here. Nice big inhale, fill up. Open the mouth, inside out. One more inhale. And exhale. Bring the gaze back towards the ceiling. Unravel, uncrossing the knees. Go ahead and just find a moment here. Maybe bring your feet as wide as the mat and let your knees knock in for a moment. So for our last posture, we'll be taking a full body stretch, so you will need your block. So go ahead and grab your block. So what you want to do is you are going to take your block and you are going to push into your feet to pick up your hips. You're going to place the block right underneath your sacrum. So you'll know it's your sacrum. It's that flat piece of bone. And you don't want it digging into your low back, nor do you want it on your bum. So it's that flat piece of bone, and once you find it, you'll know. And for this one, you're going to extend your legs as wide as your mat. Should feel really, really nice. I like to shimmy my hips from side to side here, and then bring my arms up overhead. Just take a few breaths here. few more breaths. Go ahead and take a nice big inhale. And you're just going to stretch your bones. Reach through your toes, reach through your fingers. And on the exhale, just let it go. Bend your knees, bring the soles of the feet back to the mat. Push into your feet, pick up your hips, remove the block, and set yourself back down onto the mat. So I'm just going to put my sweater back on. If you have a blanket handy or you have your sweater handy, go ahead and put that on. Make yourself nice and cozy for your final shavasana here. Let's go ahead and push into our elbows, push into the back of the skull, pick up the chest, draw your shoulders away from your ears, and set your shoulders back down onto the mat. So just knowing that at this time of the year, things slow down, and it's okay to slow down. So just appreciating the pause and energy here, the time of year that we're in. Sometimes it's best to slow down and just take it easy. Really savoring every inhale and every exhale. Feeling free to stay here for as long as you'd like. I do hope you enjoyed this mellow winter sequence. Sending my solstice blessings to you and yours. And I hope you have a wonderful day.